What up? It's Champion. I'm playing some NCAA 2011 Road to Glory mode. We've got Shane Falco's Oregon Ducks against the UCLA Bruins. Should be a pretty fun game, and definitely had some good games over the weekend. Oregon, once again, had an amazing offense and just killed the other team. I think they played Portland State, but Michael James just murdered them, and I'm getting my backup halfback involved. Michael James is actually hurt in the game, and this halfback takes it the distance on a short route. It looked like they were in man coverage, and they brought the quarter, I think, on a blitz. And that basically just left this running back wide open, so we've got an early lead. That was the first play of the game. Definitely got some excitement going on already. But, you know, later on, my offensive line is having a lot of trouble with this defensive line. They're getting in. I'm trying to stay in the pocket, but it doesn't always work, so I end up scrambling around a little bit. I don't have a great rushing game this game. I think part of that was just because I was trying to stay in the pocket and develop the passing game a little bit more. But I also want to run a little bit, and here we got the design quarterback run. I tried to cut it backfield. It looked like it was wide open, but I got caught up on somebody. Almost break out anyway. Basically, just trying to be treated like a speed running back. The computer really does a terrible time running with him. Well, Michael James is just awful when the computer uses him. But, you know, one of the great things about a speed back is they can cut across the field and basically burn everybody who's out of position. But on a 3rd and 4 here, I just wanted to get the first down, so I take the option and basically just pounded up the gut. Could have gone outside. And the thing about going outside with an option is it's rarely open, and one of the things they did a pretty decent job fixing, because in last year's game you could take the option on the outside and usually burn the entire defense if you have a fast enough quarterback. And glad they fixed it, because it's not always that easy. And here on this play, I'm forced to run around and try to get at least a few yards, but you know, nothing really going on. Trying to get the halfback involved, but he keeps getting blown up in the backfield, and his UCLA defense is actually playing pretty well, running a lot of different packages and bringing the blitz on, you know, different occasions, and it's really throwing me off a little bit and throw off my offensive line pretty obviously. But once again, fullback out of the backfield, only has to break one tackle and he is gone. He doesn't have the most speed on the team, obviously. You see him run kind of awkwardly, but makes it all the way down the field. Kind of interesting, actually. My fullback and my second string halfback are both named Wilson, so that gets kind of confusing. But, you know, out on the option here, get him the ball on the outside, and he only has one man to beat, but he gets knocked out of bounds. And we only need a couple yards, so I just throw it out to Josh Huff, and he makes the play, or at least the first down, gets a couple yards. But yeah, over the past weekend we had some interesting games, and one of them I'd like to talk about is that Michigan State game. If you hadn't watched at least the highlights, it was pretty amazing. A great overtime call by head coach Mark Antonio. After that game, he actually unfortunately had a heart attack, and really hate to see that, especially after a great, well-coached game and an overtime finish. And we wish him a speedy recovery. And it's kind of scary being a head coach in this day and age. They really put so much stress on themselves, and having played a little bit of college football myself, you can really tell that they put so much time in. They have so little free time. It's kind of ridiculous, and gotta have a lot of respect for those guys. And you don't really see it too much on the field, but they really do so much for their team. But back to the game. Have an interesting play here. Change the play call to an all streaks, and they are clearly in zone coverage, which is just terrible, and they leave number 85 wide open. They give him a lane, and all I have to do is get it to him, and he does the rest. Takes it all the way in. Kind of a remembrance of Lavoisier, but definitely miss him. I'm trying to, you know, run some different plays, running a end around here with the wide receiver. It doesn't work out too well, but even if plays don't work out, sometimes it sets up other plays. And Josh Huff can't come down with that one. It was a tough catch, you know, a tough throw. It was a little slant route, but didn't really open up. Now this one, that sack was just completely my fault. X opened up late, and I should have gotten it to him, but I was spending too much time in the pocket, and can't ask too much of this offensive line. And here I try to take this option play outside. I usually take those up inside unless I pitch it out. But it is very unsuccessful, and glad they fixed that though, because you usually don't see a quarterback stretching a play outside unless he gives it on the pitch, because what he's really looking for is an opening up in the up in the middle where someone is covering a running back and someone is trailing behind trying to cover the quarterback. And I didn't have either of those, so I tried to make a choice, and clearly the wrong one. But it's late in the fourth quarter and they want me to run the clock out. I wouldn't mind getting another score, but I want to get this running back involved a little bit, and he just gets stuffed. The linebacker just kills him on that play, and I'm not going to give it to him again. Trying to get it outside so my man can run out of bounds and we can get another score. Obviously, I'm just running up the score and trying to run up my stats so I can possibly be in the race for the Heisman, but here's another example of that option play, and this time I think I make the right decision. I take it inside, actually pretty well played, but since I cut it so hard inside, made the guy miss, and it ended up being a pretty good play. But this running back continuing to really not do too much, and I've got one or two more plays to get in the end zone, and that linebacker comes in on a blitz and makes a great play batting the ball down. So I've got one last desperation throw to the end zone, and I find my man, number 15. That receiver gets behind the defense and makes a great play, only through 17 pass attempts, but had 11 completions and 338 yards, and those are mainly because of those two huge plays by the fullback and the running back. 5 touchdowns, which is just awesome. That's definitely going to help the Heisman voting. But you see, the running wasn't there. I was only averaging 3.5 yards a carry. No one really having too much of an impact, and hopefully that doesn't affect the passing game later here in the season. But you see the 3 guys right here, Wilson, Davis, and Wilson, have 3 catches. 2 of them were 79, one was 80, and that was basically the story of the game. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See ya!